Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about the Kubernetes community today, but really, this isn't just a story about code or containers. It's a perfect case study for a huge problem we're all facing. What happens when creating something becomes almost effortless, but our ability to pay attention stays exactly the same?
You know, it really wasn't that long ago that stumbling upon a new tool felt like, well, a real discovery. It was exciting. You felt like you found something valuable. But now, that feeling has been replaced by something totally different. It's just a constant sense of exhaustion from all the noise. So, how in the world did we get here? Well, it all started with what felt like this amazing wave of innovation. New projects, new ideas, new solutions popping up every single day. The problem was that wave never stopped. It just got bigger and bigger until what once felt like innovation started to feel like, well, like you were drowning in it. And let's be super clear here. This isn't about people not having good ideas. The problem was never a lack of creativity, it was the complete opposite. There were so many projects, so many new things that it became almost impossible to tell the good stuff from the, well, not so good stuff. This right here tells you everything you need to know. When the community moderators finally announced a new rule to deal with this flood, the main reaction wasn't curiosity or even debate. It was this, just pure, unfiltered relief. People were desperate for the noise to just stop. That feeling of relief? It came because the community had basically hit its breaking point. The moderators had to do something, but their solution wasn't about trying to find the best new tools and highlight them. No, this was pure damage control. They were just trying to make the main community feed usable again. And the rule they came up with was simple and pretty severe. From now on, if you build a new tool, you can't just post about it. Nope. It has to go into one single dedicated thread every single week along with everything else. It's basically a containment strategy. And at first, the reaction was just overwhelmingly positive. You see comments like this one, just loaded with exclamation points. It was like a collective sigh of relief from a community that was just so tired of the constant spam of new project announcements. But here's where the story gets really interesting, because in solving the very real problem of spam, the community accidentally created a whole new problem: silence. By forcing all the new projects into one hidden corner, they pretty much made them all invisible. This slide breaks down the trade-off perfectly. So, step 1, you have a feed that's completely unusable because of spam. Step 2, you create the weekly thread, and congrats, the spam is gone. But then you get to step 3, the new problem. The genuinely good, legitimate projects are now just as invisible as the junk. And here's the kicker. The whole solution ignores a basic fact about how we all use the internet. As this person points out, nobody is going to go actively digging through some consolidated thread every week. We scroll our main feeds. That's it. So this thread, it's basically a graveyard for new projects. So you might be wondering, why would an entire community agree to a rule that completely crushes discovery? Well, to understand that, you have to look a little closer at the tools themselves. They knew something about the quality of what was being posted. One moderator came up with the perfect analogy. He said it all just blends into an overwhelming soup. After a while, all the new tools, the good, the bad, the half-baked experiments, the slick marketing plays, they all just bleed together into this one big, unappetizing mess. And if you actually look at the ingredients of that soup, you start to see the problem. A huge piece of it is just marketing for paid products. Another big chunk is just little side projects or quick experiments. That little sliver for actual, useful, lasting tools, it's way, way smaller than you'd think. And that brings us to a single number that just sums up the whole problem. It's pretty shocking, actually. 95%. What could that possibly be? Yeah, that is the percentage of new tools a moderator wagered would be completely abandoned by their creators in just 6 months. So it's not just noise we're talking about, it's temporary noise. It's a constant churn of projects that show up and then vanish, which just makes everyone tired and skeptical. And then, of course, you have to add the AI factor to all of this, which is like pouring gasoline on the fire. It's become so easy to generate a project that looks totally legit. It can have polished documentation, perfect marketing copy, a beautiful website, but that has absolutely nothing to do with whether it's actually useful or supported or something you can trust. And you can really feel this frustration bubbling up in the community. People are just getting sick of what this person perfectly called AI slop. All this stuff that looks plausible on the surface, but is totally hollow underneath. It's destroying trust and making it even harder for the real projects to get any airtime. So all of this is building towards a much, much bigger issue. The whole Kubernetes story is really just a preview of a massive conflict playing out all over the internet. This collision between our new, infinite, frictionless ability to create things and the very, very finite resource of human attention. Which leaves every small creator, every new project, with this one huge, terrifying question. The old way of getting noticed is gone. The main feed is basically closed for business. So if you build something truly great, where in the world do you go to get people to see it? And the answer from a moderator who is literally enforcing these new rules is just devastatingly honest. When asked where people should go, he just said, probably not here. It's a quiet admission that at a certain scale, maybe these communities just stop being places for discovery. And that, right there, is the new reality. It's a tough pill to swallow, but just building something great isn't enough anymore. The main competition isn't about having the best features or the highest quality. It's a brutal, zero-sum war for attention. Because if nobody ever sees what you've built, it doesn't matter how good it is. So we end on this thought. We have built a world where literally anyone can create and share anything in an instant. It's incredible. But our brains, our ability to actually pay attention to all that stuff, that hasn't changed at all. And as the gap between those two things gets wider and wider, something's got to give. Something has to break. For the Kubernetes world, it was visibility. The question is, what's next?